Well, hello and welcome to the Owatonna Today Show, your community connection since 1991. Today is the 23rd of October, Monday, and I am Pete Connor, your show's host, and this is special for me today because for the next couple of segments I'm going to be talking with our oldest child. She lives in my oldest child, Karen, who happens to be a resident of Great Britain, England, United Kingdom, however you want to say it. And we're going to talk about what it's like to be there. Some things that we reference oftentimes, national health and all the rest of that. And we're going to kind of pick up on some of those things with Karen. As we like to always say, is that if you have information about people or things or events that could stand some publicity and recognition, that would be good for us on Owatonna Today, why don't you let us know that? Giving us maybe an email at Owatonna Today at charter.net, or by giving Leanne Alt, our show's producer, a call at 390-5751. And we'd be happy to entertain some of your thoughts that way. Now we're going to take a quick break for some messages from our sponsors, and then we'll be right back with Karen. So please stay with us.
Hi, I'm Dr. Beth Giltvet.
And I'm Dr. Nick Vincelli of Horizon Eye Care.
We want you to see what you love and love how you see. We're proud sponsors of the Owatonna Today Show.
Hi, I'm David Denai, and I play Lord Farquaad.
And I'm Courtney Kreezer, and I play Gingy in LTO's production of Shrek the Musical, directed by Sandy Hardy Hagen and sponsored by Federated Insurance.
Performances of Shrek the Musical will be held Thursday through Saturday, October 19th, 20th, and 21st at 7:30 p.m., with a matinee on Sunday, October 22nd at 2 p.m.
And again the following Thursday through Saturday, October 26th, 27th, and 28th at 7:30 p.m., with another matinee on Sunday, October 29th at 2 p.m.
Tickets are available at the LTO box office by calling 451-0764 or online at littletheaterofowatonna.org. Don't miss LTO's production of Shrek the Musical!
Welcome back to the Owatonna Today Show, your community connection.
Can we do that again?
Yeah.
Amy Swain Hearing Centers is a...
Back to the Owatonna Today Show. Welcome back to the Owatonna Today Show, your community connection since 1991, and welcome you. Welcome. This is kind of a little bit different, isn't it?
It's weird, yes.
It's very weird, yeah. But it's fun, and thanks for consenting to come on this thing. And
my arm still hurts from being
you want to eat, you got certain things that you got to do, right? You want to put your head on a pillow, well, that's how it goes. Nothing's changed.
Yeah.
Breathe. Well, we thought, and I talked to Leanne about this, that it would be kind of nice to get a perception or a perspective of your perspective of what it's like to be, living a resident of Great Britain, of England, however we want to talk about that. And so let's talk about that. You've been there now for
19 years.
19. What was it like when you went? First of all, how did you get there?
I was living in Houston, and I was teaching, and a friend of mine and I thought, well, we should go and teach somewhere else. And so Molly got a job in Dubai, I think. And before I got a job, I met Derek, and he was from England and a friend of a friend. And then he decided he hadn't lived in England for a long time, and he moved back. And so my exciting job opportunity was to move to England and not be able to teach right away, which was interesting. And so moved there, and still am there.
What was it like when you left the United States and went to England? What was the experience, the feeling of that?
It was weird. It was like bombing your life, and I loved living in Texas. I had great friends, I had a nice job, I had 2 dogs, all of which had to be given away or, found homes for. So that was really hard. And then the first day, Derek went to work and he left me with 68p. And
68p
which is about 50 cents. and I was in a flat in a place that I didn't know and thought, oh no, what have I done? And so my first job was looking for a house. So looked for I think we looked at over 50, I looked at over 50 flats and houses. And if you haven't been before, it's really different. So the houses are, they're terraced, lots of them, so they're just all in a row. I suppose like townhouses are here. There's no storage, so there aren't closets, people, it's just a different way. So
No
everything
basement.
looked different, no basements, not a lot of trees. We live in Bristol, which is a big city, and we live close to the city centre. So looking at a street, which was just house after house after house, was really different. And when I found our house, it was a sunny day. And the year I moved there, they really didn't have a summer. It was cold, and it was windy, and it was rainy. And I lived in Texas, so I didn't have a lot of warm clothes. And I was like, I will wear shorts, it's June. And Derek's like, it's cold, get some jeans on. But the day I found our house, the sun was out. Our street has trees on it. It's a short little street. There's a common, which is like a big grassy park on one end. And I rode my bike, and I was sitting on the wall, and the people we bought our house from, he was a music teacher, and he was giving a piano lesson. And they had a dog, and he was brewing coffee, because that's what you do when you're selling a house, isn't it? And it was great. Really, the house had a nice feel, and I saw the downstairs, and I said to the estate agent, this is it. And he said, you haven't seen the whole house. And I went, that's okay, I know this is the house. So we've lived there ever since, so it's good. So yeah, so that was good, getting a house, and then getting a job. I could work for a supply agency, which is like a substitute teacher agency, because they looked after me, but I couldn't get a job on my own because I didn't have a qualification to teach in England. So there were a lot of hoops to jump through. First of all, living there, then getting the right visa, and then teaching-wise, I had to do like a conversion qualification. So a school put me through that, which was great. And now I can teach. At the moment, I can teach anywhere in Europe.
So the fact that you have a master's degree in education from the U.S., that wasn't just an automatic.
No, no, not at all.
Yeah. So what you're teaching, let's talk about the job then. You're currently teaching and have been for, what, 15, 16 years?
Yeah, 16 years.
Okay.
I teach in a school, inner city school, in a place called Eastville. It's really multicultural. We have at least 35 languages that are spoken there. It's great, really busy, lots of people coming and going, but also really challenging. It's grown. It was they call 2-form entry, so we had 2 classes for each grade. But because the city's growing so much, we've moved to a 4-form entry, which is really big for England. And yeah, it's a great place to teach. I teach 2 days now that I have kids. So one day I teach reception, which is 4-year-olds. So we start school when we're 4. So I do a day of reception, and then I do a day of year 3, which is the same age as 2nd grade.
Okay. So the school, the district, is really the city. It's
Yeah, they call it the LEA, the local authority, and they run all the schools. Some schools are turning into academies, and then they get money themselves, so they have to have people who back them and fund them. And the governors and the school administration run the school, but other schools are run by the LEA.
Okay, so obviously a robust public education system, but not to say anything about private education.
Lots of private schools also. And in Bristol, it's hard to find a secondary school, so a high school. There's a lot of paying for schools, but free schools they're few and far between, and lots of people want to go to them. So that's challenging. And now there's loads of budget cuts.
Yeah.
So money is tight.
Yeah.
So we're really struggling
Right.
with funding and
Sure.
things like that.
You've chosen with your children, though, to let them be in a private school or a parochial school setting.
It's still an LEA school.
Okay.
We would call it a public school here, but it's a Catholic school. There are Catholic schools, there are Church of England schools, and they're just schools. So they've gone to a Catholic school, and they feed into then a really good secondary school. So they take a bus. There's a school bus that comes. It's run by the parents, so we pay for the bus, but the kids, walk up the hill through the park, catch the bus. I think Josie's only missed it one time, which is good. And good thing I wasn't working that day, so I could get her to school.
Sure.
So the bus takes them and brings them back.
Yeah, good. There are some, obviously, Great Britain is in the news, and sometimes not, in fun ways, with some of the terrorist things that have happened in London. And how do people respond? I mean, in Bristol is a large place. How do your people respond to all of that kind of news? What's it like?
It's scary. It's really scary. The last ones have been in London and then in Manchester, and you just think, yikes, But people seem to think, we're not going to stop. We're going to keep going. It's a really big bond of we will get through this. We're going to stand up to terrorism. I think people watch the news and see like the shootings in Las Vegas and things. They worry about all the guns here, where you think, oh, terrorism over there. It's really similar. You just think.
Because you don't have the gun thing there.
No, not really.
I mean, even officials don't have a lot of guns.
No, I mean, police officers don't carry guns.
Yeah. There's always been this thing about the resiliency of the Brits, from World War II. And I wonder if that's not part of what it is that you're saying, is that, we'll get through this and we're not going to again. Yeah. Politically, I know you're not a political animal like your old man is, but how are things, and maybe we're going to hold up with that until we come back after a break, talk a little bit about the impact of this Brexit thing. And we'll also want to move on to this whole thing called national health system to see how that works for you and your family. So,
Okay.
Yeah, do that?
Yep,
All right,
good.
good. So, good to have you here. Thanks for doing this. And thank you for staying with us. We're now going to take some commercial messages, and then we'll be right back in just a minute. So please stay tuned.
Amy Swain Hearing Centers is a proud sponsor of the Owatonna Today Show. I'm Dr. Amy Swain, and I want everyone to hear better.
Carbon monoxide is a colorless, odorless gas produced by gas-fired appliances in your home. The state of Minnesota requires that you have a carbon monoxide alarm within 10 feet of sleeping areas in your home. We suggest you have a digital readout carbon monoxide alarm. That way we were able to check and see what the concentration amount was when the alarm went off. This has been a public safety tip from the Owatonna Fire Department.
Hi, I'm Betsy Linger from the Owatonna Foundation. Your generosity has made Owatonna a better place to live by benefiting our community, the arts, recreation, and education. Please consider a donation today. The Owatonna Foundation is a proud sponsor of the Owatonna Today Show.
At Triumph Graphics, we think beyond ink. That's why you should make us your source for creative concept, design, print, mail, and web. Check us out today at triumphgraphics.com.
Owatonna Public Utilities, real people, real reliable, real progress. Making life a little easier day after day, taking pride in our community, listening to what you say, a voice you can talk to. We're growing with you in mind in everything we do. Owatonna Public Utilities.
Welcome back to the Owatonna Today Show, your community connection. And you decided to stay for the second one.
Here I am.
That's who you are. When we talk about the politic of England, and we know what it's a monarchy, but it's got an assembly, House of Commons, House of Lords. This whole business of Brexit that we all read about, how is that playing out as far as you know?
It seems to be a mess. Like nobody really knows what's happening. When they voted to remain or to leave, that was a really big deal. Like we took the kids. I don't vote because I'm an American citizen. I don't have dual citizenship. I've chosen not to have dual citizenship. We took the kids to the polling booth, which was in a church hall. We took the kids. We had a puppy. We walked the dog. So they could see and remember what it was like. It was a big deal. And they do paper ballots, and the lady was lovely. She had a ruler, and she crossed Eric's name off and showed the kids what she was doing. And it felt really important to vote, and lots of people voted. And then you went to bed, and you woke up in the morning and just went, no way. Okay, I can't believe that. And so, lots of people just don't know what's going to happen. And they're negotiating now. We don't want to stop all the trading with the European Union, but I think that the people feel that they could come up with a better way for England to deal with Europe, better for England and the citizens of England. But people are really curious and a bit frightened of how it's going to, how everything's going to work. I have lots of people who are from Europe, Ireland and things. What's that going to mean for them? What's it going to mean for me and the kids, traveling and things like that. So it's kind of a wait and see kind of thing.
The view of the United States from across, what's when you again have contact with your friends and your own, from you perceive what you see on the BBC or whatever, what's the impression that you're getting from what's happening here in our country? Again,
people are worried. The United States is such a big force, and no one is happy, that our president is our president. And people hear my accent, which here people think I'm not from here, but there I'm really American. And strangers will say, "Ooh, you're president." And I say, "I live here. He's not mine." So people are worried. They think, how can it be? Because he comes across as not professional, kind of want to put your hand over his mouth and say, stop saying that. So people are worried.
Well,
I know I have friends who were going to come and do a big trip of America this summer. So you have 6 weeks, and they were going to spend the 6 weeks in America and tour the whole place. And they decided not a Trump America. They didn't want to come and do a visit and spend their money here this time. So they're waiting a couple more years.
Interesting.
Yeah.
In country here, of course, there's a good deal of debate with respect to health care and this whole idea of the ACA, which is apparently now, from executive order, going to be dismantled. You have in England the national health system. How does that work for you?
We found it great. So our taxes pay for it. I've had 3 kids on the NHS, which has been an amazing experience. I've had a year of maternity leave, 6 months paid, which is amazing, possibly 9 months with Amelia. And it's great. I've had problems with my back, and sometimes I have to wait to have like physio or have a consultant or an MRI, but I have all of those things available to me. If you have a problem, if you have a life-threatening problem, you are seen right away. We have friends who are doctors. They find it really tricky because, again, there's budget cuts and the money is short, and they find it tricky to give the care that they feel that people need. When you call the doctor, it used to be you called in the morning to get an appointment, and now, but then you couldn't, the phone was busy, you were ringing. Finally, in about a half an hour, you'd get through, and a lot of the appointments would be gone. So they've changed it at our doctors, where you call in, you talk to a receptionist, and then she puts you on a list, and they have like a triage doctor who will call and say, right, you need an appointment, come in. with the kids, if they're sick, they always put them on the end of a list. So they'll say, bring them in at 5 and we'll see them. So it's been great. The kids' prescriptions are paid for. We pay, I think I pay £8 something for a prescription as a grown-up. When you're pregnant, your prescriptions are paid for. It's really good. The kids get their eyes tested through the NHS, free until they're 16, I think.
Did you have to be there for a while before you were included into the system?
I think I had to have my visa in my passport, but I can't remember.
Yeah.
I know that when my cousin Dana came over to visit, she had left her inhaler on a plane, and she's really asthmatic, and she started having an attack, and we called 111, which is the
911.
Yeah, kind of the less. I think it's a less emergency, but it's the kind of the line after hours, and they. We took her to the hospital and they gave her inhaler, and it was great, really good.
Yeah.
So when we go away, so when I'm here, or if we go to France or somewhere on a summer vacation, we have to get travel insurance. So we buy insurance that will cover us. So if something happens to me here, so I'm covered with insurance.
Sure. Okay. So on balance, apparently it worked. How many people maybe a tricky question, in the UK, is it 100 million, 75 million, or all included in the national health system?
And the other thing is if my back is really hurting and I want an MRI and I can't have one through the NHS for 2 months or whatever, I can also go private and I can pay to have it. And it's usually the same doctors can do it on a private kind of way.
Sure.
And so you can go and do that also.
Sure. When you talk, and so it works. I mean, it's an example of where it works, and we've read and seen lots of places in Europe, principally, where it works. It works quite well. Shifting from that and going into more environmental, not environmental like air and climate and all that, but shopping and having access to stuff.
I love stuff.
You love stuff. You love shopping. You always did love
I get a bad
shopping.
rap on that. I come home, I just have to see what's here.
Right. We're leaving here. We're going where? We're Target or Walmart. Yeah. So how is it? What sort of stores and shops are there for you to access the things that you need? It's
similar. When I moved there, shops weren't open on Sundays, which was weird. But now stores are open. On Sundays, grocery stores close at 4. So they have a shorter, I think they open at 11 and close at 4 on Sundays. But it's kind of the same stuff, and they were very influenced by America. So there's now aisles of American candy, which the kids love. And things. So you can get most things, not all, but most.
I know you always like to have a jar of Jif peanut butter.
Costco.
Now you can.
Yep.
Okay.
Costco.
We used to have contraband when we'd go over in the suitcase. There would be a jar of mac and cheese.
You can get that. And my friend Catherine, who's from Chicago, our Rory and Jonathan are in the same class, and we've become really good friends. We call each other Bristol family, along with my friend Pam. And Pam laughs because we get the Americans together. And we go to Costco and Catherine will go, "My people, I am here." And it just makes me laugh.
So upcoming is Halloween, and Halloween is
getting bigger. Not
yeah.
as big as it is here, but a lot bigger.
Yeah.
You can buy little Halloween lights. I can't do my whole house in them, but yeah.
Yeah, and Thanksgiving is going to be upon us.
Thanksgiving, but we do it. Yeah. We always do it. Yeah. I work on Thursday, so we have to do it on the Saturday before, the Saturday after. But yeah.
Yeah. So it really is. You've adjusted to the point where you can really make the things work the way you want them to work. To the extent that the infrastructure allows you to do that.
And when I'm there, it's great. And when I'm home, I just want to ship everything here and be here. Yeah. And then I go home for a couple weeks and I'm really grumpy. Yeah. People leave me alone. And then I get back into it and it's okay again.
And you know how to drive on the wrong
It's
side?
my best accomplishment living there, yeah.
And with
Stick shift car, yeah. Parallel parking. I can park in a space that big. Except I hit my neighbor's car this year, which was not good. And I got stuck on it. And I didn't know it was theirs because it was dark. And I ran in. I was taking Amelia to Cubs. And of course, we were late. And I knocked on Stu's door and I said, I've hit a car and I'm stuck on it. Can you help? And I went, oh, I think it's your car. So he came and drove his car off of my car, which, yeah. But once in 19 years is pretty good, yeah.
Not too bad, yeah. Well, that's great. Oh, boy. So, you're getting along, and your mother and I have had a chance to be with you on a few occasions, and we love it. And but it's been great to have you here, and to not only at home, of course, but to have you here for this, because this is really kind of special. And it's been enlightening, I think, for our folks to hear and see you say the things that you have. So thank you.
You're
for
welcome.
Consenting, arm twisting notwithstanding. Yeah. So perhaps we'll do it again when you come back. So thank you for also being with us for this special show, and we're going to take a bit of time for commercial messages, and we'll be right back to wrap up. So please stay with us.
Hi, my name is Dave Efforts with TPS Insurance. We're here to handle all your insurance needs. We are a very proud supporter of the Owatonna Today Show.
Hi, welcome back to the Owatonna Today Show, your community connection, and we've got some community announcements. The Owatonna Foundation is pleased to announce a scholarship opportunity for women. Funded by June A. and Melanie Nelson, the scholarship is for women of diversity or single mothers who wish to return to school and pursue a technical or two-year education. Scholarship criteria and applications are available on the Foundation's website. If you have questions, please contact Jill Holmes at 455-3059, or the deadline for applications is on October 25th of 2017. Owatonna Foundation also is pleased to make available scholarships that range from $500 to $3,000 to assist students who will be attending non-four-year programs at a technical or community college. Eligibility requirements include that the recipients have an Owatonna mailing address or have worked at an Owatonna business for at least the past 2 years. You must also hold a GED or graduated from high school prior to or with the class of 2016. Applications must be submitted by October 25th, and they are available at the Foundation's website. Looking for relief from hand, wrist, or finger pain caused by carpal tunnel, Guyon canal, or cubital tunnel syndromes? Owatonna Healthcare Campus is sponsoring a free information session to learn about surgical alternatives, pain management, rehabilitation options, and more on Thursday, October 26th from 6 to 7 p.m. at the Mayo Clinic Health System in Owatonna conference rooms. Information session is free and open to the public. Seating is limited. Register by calling 507-444-5044, and that'll take care of announcements. Please do come back on Wednesday when we will talk with Senator John Marty regarding his plan for Minnesota health system. And also we will be looking at structural changes at the food shelf and at the clothesline. So you'll want to stay tuned for those very important messages coming forth on Wednesday. Thanks again for being with us. We look forward to having you back on Wednesday.